You never know how you sound like when you're listening back to something on the video or the audio recording that you just sent to other people or to other people, such as yourself. I want to also add into the log for July 5th at around 11:30, seems, on the Friday of today, is that you never know that oil is one of the big killers here in America, but it's never really advertised. Oil and gluten. Everybody associates having a gluten-free diet with just being dealt with in celiacs. But everybody that has something wrong with them in their system is gluten intolerant. So, I was watching a commercial the other day, yesterday, I think, about having LDA and LCA, and the medication was supposed to be good for bringing your bad cholesterol level down. And that is a huge myth. I've read a lot of stuff as to saying that there is no such thing as good and bad cholesterol. It's all good. It's like saying there's a good and bad calcium amounts of calcium in your body, because they say that sometimes calcium is the cause of calcium is I don't know exactly, I can't remember, but the calcium leaks into your bones, and that would be bad. But it's because you don't have it conjoined with another nutrient, and I think that's magnesium. Yeah, your bones get decalcified because they're leaking into your body's not absorbing it. So one might think that calcium would be the bad thing, but that's not very untrue. So I think the point of the basis I'm getting to is that these commercials I talk about, I remember hearing Count Williams talking about this, somebody named Count Williams, and it's one of his comedy routines. His comedy routine is talking about people taking a bunch of drugs. And I've known people to take a lot of prescription drugs, and it just never helps. And people might say, well, my doctor told me to do this, and I trust my doctor 100% without doing any personal research on my own. And it's just, people never appreciate any good research that they can do on their own until it happens to them. And then either that, or sometimes they just don't care at all. And I think that is a really bad road to go on to. I'm saying, my prediction for the future, for future things that are going to happen in commercials and advertisements, is supplements will be advertised a lot more. You only see that stuff advertised at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. because they know nobody's up at the hour. And I think that they have to pay for that airtime. And a lot of times they probably don't have the money, or they don't have the back end behind it to get that airtime during the day. And they're not from a major corporation. They're not backed by a corporation that has just huge amounts of money behind it. So I think when the dust clears and all the clouds move out of the way, and after the storm has settled, and after the shore has been washed up and the water has gone dry to where we as Americans can actually see what's on the bottom of the ocean and actually make out what really is there. What lies beneath the surface of the ocean. It's kind of like Atlantis. You know, the hidden city. A lost city. For all we know, Atlantis could be still there in some form or fashion, but since man cannot even reach the depths of the ocean, as far as we know, it still exists. But these are just thoughts that are in my head that I'd like to vent, because I think it's a very healthy thing as a human being, especially with one in my condition and the one environment that I am currently taking residence in. So, and mind you, the surface of the ocean can always be tampered with. So some people put oil in there, and some people put gluten in there, sort of diminishing um, the appearance of the sea from up above by any birds or whatnot. And there's some things that I've read before about, or heard about before, and about cities and tribes that get sort of exterminated, but they leave traces of things behind for the next culture to learn from it. So it gets better and better each time. And if you ever notice, those tribes or cultures were together in small amounts. And so through time and history, they've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And even back then, they used to pull people's hearts out and eat them. And now they've come a long way. Now they just have blood banks. Now they don't even got to stand on a pyramid and do it right then and there. All they got to do is to go down to the blood bank. But I'm laughing because sense of humor and laugh. They say laughter is one of the best medicines, and I believe that to be true because that comes from having joy inside of one's heart. And you really find out when you're like me and you have a condition like myself, you can really find out what's more important in life. You really do find out what's more important in life. So I'm doing this basically just for my friends to hear or whatever. All right, this is Seth logging off. Happy trails.